Hello, Second Step Educator community. I'm Matt Pearsall. I'm the community manager here, and I am pleased to be bringing our first community member spotlight to you all for May this month. And our inaugural community spotlight person is going to be Erin Hockenberry. Erin Hockenberry is one of our mentors in this community and a great champion of Second Step and social emotional learning. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce you all. I'd like her to introduce herself to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are.
Hi, I am Erin Hockenberry. I am an elementary school counselor at a small district, Clarion Limestone Elementary School. I have about 450 students in grades K through 6. I have been a school counselor for 11 years in the elementary and middle school realms, and I am very excited to be here today.
That's great. And so we were talking a little bit before we started with the interview, and you've been doing some really, I don't know if cool is quite the right word. You've been doing some really important work to support your students during this pandemic and supporting their families. I was wondering if you could tell us just a little bit about what you're doing and how it's been working for you and your students and your faculty and their families during this crisis.
Absolutely. So for me, I find that it is all encompassing. So my job is not just to support the students, but it is to support the students, the families, and the staff and the community. So I've been trying to focus in all of those realms. So initially, when all of this happened, we needed a way to be able to communicate with our kiddos with some different enrichment activities. So I happen to link onto my own webpage different enrichment activities in ELA, in math, in science, and social studies, and also in our special areas. So we could first get that out to them. So that was kind of my first connection. And then I started to focus with the teachers. And because if they're not feeling good, then what they give over to the kids is not going to be good either. So I send out daily videos to them, about 1 minute to 2 minutes long, just on different coping skills that they can use, different things to kind of help them feel good during this crazy time. And they're able to use those both with themselves and also be able to use some of those with the students, which is really great too. A lot of them are really good skills that I use when I'm working with kiddos one-on-one or in small groups. So then when we kind of got the go-ahead that we could start sending stuff to kids, I started to send weekly social emotional videos and links to students. And I sent them also to the parents. And when I sent them to the parents, I provided them with additional resources. So different images to help them understand what their children might be feeling, or some different websites or different articles that might be very helpful for them right now.
Awesome. What's the response that you've been getting? I actually kind of want to start with talking about the supports that you've been providing for your colleagues. What kind of response have you gotten from your colleagues on this? Have they been finding it helpful?
Yes. And given it's not everybody, and that's okay. And it doesn't need to be, because I'm putting it out there for whoever needs it. I'm certainly not looking for like how many likes I can get or anything related to that. But there are certain videos that I put out that people are emailing me immediately and telling me, thank you for doing this today, or they're sharing different images of things. For example, this week, I actually did one with coloring your heart with the emotions that you're feeling. So I asked them to draw a heart, and I asked them to write on the bottom what different emotions they're feeling right now, and to use those colors and color the heart with it. And I happened to be in the building yesterday, and I had multiple people stop me and talk to me about it and tell me about that they did it, and this is how they were feeling, and that it was a really great visual. So I definitely feel like that's been really good. And then to tie it into, I've held some Zoom meetings with them where we actually have a game night tonight to kind of close out the school year. So just trying to keep us as a good, solid community when we can't be together in person.
I think it's really neat. I think I like the coloring the heart activity. It's something I would think of as an activity to share with students to do. but to kind of take it and have your staff doing it, that's really neat. And I appreciate hearing that they took to it so well.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's been the reaction from your students and families? What have been the supports that they've been most receptive to and they've found most useful?
I think the one that I've gotten the most comments to was the Google Slides that I put out. That we did kind of one basically on emotions, and then I did one focusing on different types of deep breathing. Mm-hmm. And then the next one that I put out had to do with dancing and stretching. Mm-hmm. And I threw in a lot of different dancing videos, and they really liked that one. I think that's the one that I got the most, kind of the most feedback from, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Have you been getting more? Have you been in more communication with families since the school closures than you were before, or has it been about the same?
I feel like it's a little less, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel like our families in the community that we're at, they're stressed. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of in survival mode, which I think a lot of us in different places have been in survival mode. So I'm just trying to keep it out there that I'm a support for them. Lots of different ways that they can contact me, mm-hmm. Whether it's via phone, text, email, my website. So mm-hmm. just letting them know that I'm still here.
That's great. So have you been thinking about how you might be supporting your students and their families and your colleagues over the summer, or providing them supports that they can use over the summer?
So I did tell my staff when I made the first video for this week, I said, this is going to be my last full week, but I am going to scatter some videos in throughout, because I do feel like for me, I do need time to relax and refresh as well. You can only pour from a cup so much until you're empty. So I do have some things prepared for June that I'm going to do. I'm actually attending the American School Counseling Association conference mm-hmm. that is happening at the end of June. So I'm hoping to get a lot of good information from there as well. And I have some things in mind to kind of prep for next school year, but I'm also going to give myself some time to relax, refresh, and then come probably later in July, really mm-hmm. kind of kick back into it and get that spark ready and going and prepare.
Yeah, I think that's a very thoughtful way to approach it. We've all been working some crazy hours during this pandemic. How have you been? So you've been talking about a lot about how you've been taking care of your students and families and colleagues. How have you been kind of making sure that you've got enough left for yourself during this?
Well, that's challenging.
Yeah.
I am one of those people that is just go, 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 go. And okay, I did this. What's next? What's next? What's next? So I can say that I have been shutting down technology at a certain time. I've been trying to really set those clear boundaries as much as I can. Mm-hmm. And I think that's been really helpful, and being able to spend that time with my family. When it's nice out, getting outside. Mm-hmm. We love to sing and dance and have fun. So lots of those kind of movement activities have been really helpful.
Cool. So really appreciate kind of hearing a little bit about what you've been doing. A lot of people are watching this, and they're in various different stages of supporting students, or planning on supporting students, or working on that, as well as supporting colleagues and all the sort of work that you're doing. What's well, you put your mentor hat on here for a second, and what is a nugget of wisdom or a piece of advice that you'd have for other people who are doing this work, something that you've learned as you've been learning how to be a virtual school counselor over the last couple of months?
My best suggestion is don't be afraid, try everything. And also look for those people that are sharing their wisdom and roll with it. Mm-hmm. So many people have posted so many amazing things in the Facebook groups that I'm in, or just on other platforms that I'm associated with. And I've been taking them all, and I've been putting them, in a folder and coming back to it and trying not to be overwhelmed with it, but also knowing that it's so much great knowledge mm-hmm. that I need to try it and not be afraid to do it, even if it looks intimidating. So that would be my best suggestion. Just try.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Erin. I've emailed back and forth with you a number of times over the last few months, but this is I'm really glad to have the chance to meet you today, and I'm sure that everybody else in the community has been thrilled to have a chance to meet you and get to hear a little bit about your work. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and taking the time to talk with us all today.
Thank you for this opportunity.
All right. So until next month, when we'll be doing our next community spotlight. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you all on Facebook.